Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the college baseball playoff picks for the channel. This is going to be a lot of fun. Big college baseball fan here. I know I haven't done that many videos. I'm going to be making a ton of streams for the playoffs because there are going to be so many games. Now, for those of you who don't know how the college baseball tournament works, let me try to explain. Each of these teams, there's 64 teams, the winners of each of the conferences, and then 32 at large, just like March Madness. It's just like March Madness, how you get it. Each of these four teams plays in a regional hosted by this team, except for here, which I'll get to that in a minute. They each go, the top 16 teams all host a region. They play in a 4-team double elimination bracket, and the winner goes to the super regionals, which are down here, and the super regional is a best of 3. So the two teams play in a best of 3, and then the 8 winners go to Omaha for the College World Series. They're separated into 2 groups of 4 again for a little double elimination bracket, and then the winners of those groups of 4 go to the championship, and it's a best of 3. Hopefully that makes sense, but we're going to pick the winners from each of these groups, then do the super regionals, and you'll see how it goes. Let's start off with the Fayetteville Regional in Fayetteville, Arkansas, featuring Arkansas, Nebraska, Northeastern, and the New Jersey Institute of Technology. All right, this is an easy pick. Okay, this is the easiest pick that there is. Arkansas is the number 1 team in the entire country. They score runs at will. They're built on their offense, but it's actually been their pitching. Their pitching got them through the gauntlet, which is the SEC tournament. And they got through the SEC tournament no problem with some terrific pitching. Nebraska, good team out of the Big Ten. Northeastern, good team. They got to go on a walk-off or whatever, but they're not going to be able to hold a candle to Arkansas. Next, the Lubbock Regional in Lubbock, Texas. This is a stacked region. Texas Tech, great team, 8th in the country, great offense. This is like their 5th straight year hosting a regional, and that's pretty impressive. UCLA, they were number 2 preseason. They were the preseason number 2 team. They started off very slow. They were in danger of missing the tournament. They ended the season on a torrid stretch. They were red hot to end the year. So they got in. North Carolina, pretty good team out of the ACC. They're another really good team. They have a really good strength of schedule. That's what got them in. And then Army. I am going to go with UCLA just because of how hot they are right now. They're so unbelievably hot right now. The way they're playing, I don't know if anyone could stop them. Next is the Tucson Regional, hosted by the Arizona Wildcats. This region is loaded, absolutely loaded. Arizona, top 5 team in the country. They're a pure offensive team. Their pitching is good, but their offense is what builds their team. Oklahoma State, really good team out of the Big 12. Santa Barbara, they were ranked 12th preseason. I had them going to the national championship. I love Santa Barbara. They're a really good team. They're another team that ended on a torrid stretch. They were red hot right now. And Grand Canyon, also a very good 4 seed. By the way, the seed goes 1, 2, 3, 4 for the seeds in the region. I don't really know who to go with here, but I'm going to end up going with the favorite. I'm going to take Arizona, but that is a stacked region right there. That is a very stacked region. All right, now for the Nashville Regional featuring Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Presbyterian, and Indiana State. I will not 100%, but will most likely be going to a game in this regional because I'm currently in Tennessee. I'm currently in Knoxville right now. I'm staying at a hotel in Knoxville, so I got my Tennessee shirt on. But we're going to be staying in like the Smokies for a few days, and then when we're coming back west through Tennessee, that's when this tournament's going to be going on. And the game we're going to be most likely going to is in the second round. It'll be the winner of Vandy and Presbyterian against the winner of Georgia Tech and Indiana State. So we're probably going to see Kumar or Jack Leiter. It's going to be fun. We don't know if we're going 100% yet, but we're probably going to end up going. Now, Georgia Tech, great team. Indiana State out of the Missouri Valley, they were ranked for a while this year. Very underrated, good team. And Presbyterian, not bad either. I am going to go with Vanderbilt. Just because they have the two best players in the country and they're both pitchers. I love teams. You'll always see me pick teams with pitching. You will always see me pick teams with pitching. But don't watch out for Indiana State. They're a good team. Next, this is another region that's kind of loaded. Texas, number 2 team in the country. Ty Madden, great pitcher. They also have some bats. They're nuts. They're just kind of like Arkansas. Perfect balance of great hitting and great pitching. Arizona State, not a terrible team. Fairfield, okay, Southern has a losing record, but they won their conference. So good ups to Southern. Fairfield started this season 28-0. But then you look at their strength of schedule and you're like, oh, they have the 250th best strength of schedule. What, 28-0 to start the year? They got upset in their conference tournament by Rider and didn't know if they were going to get in. They finished the season 37-3. They got in. I'm glad they got in. I'm really glad they got in because they deserve a spot. I mean, come on, 37-3. They're a great team. Watch out for them this year. But in this region, I think it's between Texas and Fairfield, but I'm going to take Texas. All right, next we have Mississippi State, VCU, Campbell, and Samford in the Starkville Regional. Now, that stadium in Mississippi State, they get loud. They seat like 10,000 people, which for a college baseball stadium is huge. There was a point in time this season where there were more people at that stadium than at Yankee Stadium. I mean, they get loud as hell. VCU and Campbell, 2 very underrated teams. VCU won the A-10. Campbell won the Big South. They're both like 35-14. They both have very good records. I think both of them can test Mississippi State, whoever they play in the championship. But I do think Mississippi State will end up coming out on top. Next, I forget where this regional is being played. I forget where TCU is, but this region is also loaded. Absolutely loaded. TCU, Oregon State, McNeese, very good team too. And Dallas Baptist, who is a force in baseball, if you didn't know. They're like 39-12. This region is stacked. I think you could take any combination of TCU, Oregon State, Dallas Baptist. And this was really tough for me. I originally had Oregon State. Then I did some digging, and I found out TCU is probably the safe pick here. So I'm going to go with the Horned Frogs. And then next, Tennessee, Duke, Liberty, and Wright State. Duke was like 20-20 at one point in the year. Rattled off 12 straight wins, won the ACC. Wright State, very good team. They're like 39-15. They've got Quincy Hamilton, GOAT, absolute GOAT. He's like, I think he leads college baseball in like hits or average or something like that. And Liberty, not a bad team either, but it's got to be Tennessee. Tennessee has been nothing short of fantastic this year. I mean, they have hitting, they have pitching. Their bullpen is fantastic. They have a really good, I forgot his name, but they have a relief pitcher that's like really, really good. I forgot his name though. But I'm telling you, man, Tennessee, forced to be reckoned with this year in college baseball. Watch out for them. Watch out for the Vols. Now, I only have one upset here with UCLA. That's going to change. All right, this is a great story. Louisiana Tech. Their old stadium was torn down by like a hurricane or something, and they rebuilt it, and now they get to host. They're a great team out of Conference USA. Them and Southern Miss, we'll get to Southern Miss later. They played in a great game to decide that conference championship. It was like 10-10 in extra innings. That team can hit. Louisiana Tech is a force. NC State, very good team. Alabama, very overrated team. They did pretty bad in the SEC, but they kind of got in just because the SEC is great in baseball. And then Rider obviously beat Fairfield to make it here, but I'm going to go with Louisiana Tech. I think they're definitely the best team in this region. I don't think any of those three can compete with them. Louisiana Tech can hit and hit and hit like none other. Next, the Stanford region featuring Stanford, UC Irvine, Nevada, and North Dakota State. North Dakota State, very underrated team. I think they have 40 wins this year. They're up there in the win column. Nevada, also a very good team. Stanford, I don't really think they're as good as their ranking says. They're a good team. I don't know if they're the ninth best team in the country, but that's why I am going to go with the UC Irvine Anteaters. This team, they're really, really good. They got pretty high up in the rankings, as high as like I think they were in the top 10 at one point. They made it up there in the rankings at some point. They were close to hosting too. They are a very underrated team, and I think they could definitely beat a kind of overrated Stanford team. I really like Irvine's chances. I think they're going to come out in this region and get it done. Next, the Oxford Regional. This is another region that's loaded. Ole Miss, baseball powerhouse. They're good every year. Southern Miss, they were ranked in the top 15 at one point. They were in the running to host with Louisiana Tech. It basically was going to come down to when Louisiana Tech played Southern Miss, whoever won that game was going to host. And Louisiana Tech ended up winning. But Southern Miss is another great team that can hit. And they have some really good pitching too. And they're going to draw a lot of fans to Oxford. I'm telling you, that's going to be an interesting in-state rivalry. Little brother coming up with a chip on their shoulder. And then you got Florida State here. They're also a really good team. Don't sleep on them. They always have a pretty good team. They're, once again, pretty good this year than Southern Missouri. Kind of the odd man out here. I am going to go with another bit of an upset. Give me Southern Miss. I think just because of the fact that they're close to home, they're playing I think the fact that they're playing another in-state team that's ranked sort of higher than them and highly touted than them, they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder, and they're going to come out and get the win. I like Southern Miss's chances. Next, this region with East Carolina now. Norfolk State, pretty good. Maryland, pretty good. Charlotte and East Carolina, it's between these two. Charlotte's a very good team. They were competing with Old Dominion for a spot to host. They almost ended up hosting, but they couldn't get it done. Charlotte's a great team, but I think this region belongs to the Pirates of East Carolina. They're always a great baseball powerhouse. I don't think they should have any. They kind of got a little bit luckier with some of the teams that are in this region. I think East Carolina should win this region, no problem. Next, Gainesville Regional featuring Florida, Miami, South Florida, and South Alabama. I don't think South Alabama or South Florida are going to do much. Miami played Florida the first series of the season, and Miami took 2 out of 3. This is when Florida was ranked number 1 in the country, brand new stadium to debut. Miami takes 2 out of 3. I think Florida's going to be out for revenge, though, and I think they're definitely the best team with my guy, Judd Fabian. That guy's a stud. I think Florida should win that. All right, now we have the South Bend Regional featuring Notre Dame, UConn, Michigan, and Central Michigan. Central Michigan, by far the best 4 seed. I mean, they're better than a lot of 3 seeds. I think they're better than Nevada. I think they're better than Campbell. I think they're better than Liberty. I think they're better. They might even be better than LSU. They have a great record. And my friend actually got to pitch again. My friend from Dayton, he only got to pitch 2 games this year, one against Campbell, one against Central Michigan. He was talking about how they're like the rowdiest team ever, Central Michigan. So watch out for them. Michigan, decent. UConn, very good team this year, but the story is Notre Dame coming out of basically nowhere, doing very well in the ACC throughout the year. They just went on a big run, and they're rolling. I mean, Notre Dame, very good team. They impressed a lot of people this year, and I think they're going to show up in this region and take it. Now, Old Dominion is the highest-ranked team. Old Dominion, 11th of the country. Very good team. You don't really think of Old Dominion when you think of sports powerhouses, but South Carolina is the host for this region. That is some BS. You got to let the highest team host. I guess South Carolina's got like a bigger stadium or whatever. And like I saw something like Old Dominion and South Carolina are only like 20 minutes apart or something. But I mean, come on. I think they kind of got robbed. Virginia, also a very good team. Jacksonville, they finished the season 16-32. And they won their conference tournament together. They have twice as many losses as they do wins. So they're going to have their hands full. I think because South Carolina's hosting, this region is going to belong to them. I think they're a very good team, too. I mean, they can hit. They play in a hitter-friendly park, but this team can hit. They've got some studs. South Carolina, great team. They've been tested throughout this year in the SEC. I think they're going to be able to get it done. And lastly, the Eugene Regional with Oregon and Gonzaga. I mean, okay, Oregon, great team. They were up near top 5 in the country. They kind of fell down a little bit. They were about to be like a top 5 team. Then they kind of fell down. Gonzaga, they were in the running to host. They were up there. I was really pulling for them. I really wanted them to host. And they couldn't get it done. They lost it like a game or two at the end of the year. LSU, kind of a mediocre SEC team, but they're always usually really good. Their coach, I forgot his name, but he's like really, really good. And he's about to retire. Central Connecticut, kind of the odd man out. They got to come all the way from Connecticut to Oregon. That's a flight. That's a flight and a half. Same thing with LSU. I am going to go with Gonzaga. They're a force in baseball. I'm telling you, they came out and they were hot this year. They were looking really good. I think they're better than Oregon, and I think they're going to go out and get this win. So now we have our super regional matchups set. And the winners go to Omaha for the, for the College World Series. So, let's see who's going. Arkansas and Louisiana Tech. Very interesting matchup here. I'd like to see Louisiana Tech get this done. I kind of felt bad for them because I was going to pick Louisiana Tech to go to Omaha, but they're getting matched up against the number 1 team in the country. They can push this to 3. It's a best of 3. I think this would go 3. Louisiana Tech's a great team. Arkansas is just going to be too much, though. All right. 2 unranked teams, UCLA and UC Irvine. This is a coin flip for me, but I'm going to go with UC Irvine. I like their chances here. Great team. They can hit. I love UC Irvine. I think they're going to get this one done. Next, Arizona and Southern Miss. Now, here's the problem with Arizona. And this is why I think Southern Miss matches up very well with them. Arizona has some of the best hitting in the entire country. Their pitching is kind of Southern Miss can hit. With pitching, it's going to be a problem. I'm taking an upset. Give me Southern Miss. They're a great team if you've watched them play this year. They play with intensity. I like the Golden Eagles' chances. And lastly, Vanderbilt and East Carolina. Good luck beating Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter in a 3-game series. Just good luck with that. I mean, the 2 best pitchers in a 7-game series, you're like, all right, we got 3 games. It's not them. 67% of the games are going to be, we're facing a top 2 pick. Come on, Vandy's going to win that. Texas and Florida. I think this one's Texas. Ty Madden, great offense, great balanced team. Texas, I think, can easily take this one over Florida. I think that's Judge Fabian's great, and they got some good pitchers, but I think Texas is way better. Mississippi State, Notre Dame. I hate both these teams. This is a coin flip for me. They're both great teams, but I'm telling you, that stadium down in Starkville gets so hype, especially for a playoff series. I mean, come on. That stadium is nuts. Their home field advantage is going to get it done. Now, to be fair, if you're hosting, you're not always the home team, as in, like, you bat last. Like, in a 3-game series, okay, Mississippi State would be the home team. Then Notre Dame would be the home team, but, like they bat last. And then, does that make sense? So, just because you're the host doesn't mean you're always the home team. But, you're playing at your own stadium. Come on. And then TCU in South Carolina. I think this is going to be TCU. They're nuts. They've got pitching. They've got hitting. They've got it all. Great Big 12 team. Give me them. And then Tennessee, Gonzaga. This is close. I like Gonzaga a lot, but I'm going to end up going with Tennessee. They're stacked. I feel they're that sort of team where it's like when they get hot, I feel like there's nothing stopping them. So big ups to Tennessee right there. All right, last. We got to pick the winners of these 2. For the first one, sorry Southern Miss and UC Irvine, but I think this comes down to Arkansas and Vandy. If Arkansas beat Vandy in the SEC tournament, they've got the hitting and pitching to compete with Vandy, and Vandy's gonna have to use some of their good pitchers in the start. I really like Arkansas's chances better than them. And then in the other region, oh man, these are 4 great teams. But like I said, I'm pretty sure there's 2. I think those are the 2 best teams in college baseball. I think it's Texas and it's Arkansas. I think these are the 2 best teams. there are other great teams. Tennessee's great. Vandy's great. I really like Mississippi State. I like teams like Southern Miss. I just think these two are in a league of their own. And that's why they're number one and number two. I hate to pick this much chalk, but I just love what these two teams have going. Now, who's going to win this in a battle to the death? It's basically a coin flip. There's someone on my channel. They always, I forgot their name. They have the saying, Arkansas loves Quincy Bell sports. I love your chances to win the College World Series, and I think you're going to end up getting it done. Arkansas, a great team. They hit like none other, and they have the pitching to back it up. They don't have the pitching of like a Vandy, or like I think Texas would probably have better pitching than them, but I think they have enough pitching with that torrid offense to win a national championship. Hopefully you guys approve of the picks. This was fun to make. I'm going to be doing a lot of streaming. Lots of streaming. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because there's going to be there's going to be games on all the time. I'll be what's it called? Yeah, so I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure how much streaming I can get for the first round. The Super Regionals though, ton of streaming for the Super Regionals because I'll be back home when they'll start. Possibly going to the one in Nashville. I hope the most likely matchup is going to be Vandy and either Georgia Tech so we're going to probably see Vandy unless Presbyterian upsets them. Vandy and the winner of Indiana State and Georgia Tech, which I think will be Indiana State, even though Georgia Tech is ranked higher. I think Indiana State will beat them. And I got to pull for Indiana State. Got to pull for the home state. But it's going to be a great game if we do end up going. I think we are going. I don't know 100% yet, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know who you're picking down below. I'll see you around.